Well, we've made it to game 4, and this could be the final game of the series between MG Element and Team Ishtar. Adam, we saw two compositions go at each other. Quad threat versus what was seemingly quad tank. Quad tank surprised us quite a bit, but they were not able to get over the finish line.
It was thrilling. It was really interesting how they opted to play that game, and I'm curious to see if they pull out something crazy again when they're on match point here, or against the match point. Looks like Frostbite is in. Tygoon is going top lane now. Chicken the Wing rotating down to support. Looks like they're just trying to figure out the best combination possible.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to tip your hat over to the support that was in Death by Video Game. He didn't really play too bad. He actually
No,
played quite
I
well
think it was quite
all
well.
three
Yeah.
games. Yeah, so gotta give him a lot of credit. And Chicken the Wing will hopefully go to a place where things are a little bit more calm. And Tygoon's got his work cut out for him.
I think that's the main thing to keep in mind is that you need to make sure that you are pushing as you need to push your advantages and you need to try and find as many as possible. Caitlyn into a lane against the Nephelios. Going to be difficult for the Nephelios here. And Frostbite, we saw their aggression last time around on the Zeri. It almost worked a lot of the times. It was so close, but it was just a little bit too deep.
It bit him in the ass sometimes too. So,
Yeah.
and ultimately is what costed them the game. It could have been a 3-game series, but not so. The Shyvana once again being selected here for MG Element. So it does look like they want to go with more aggressive lanes. They've already picked the Caitlyn, so lanes that can stand on their own and let Runner 90 do his thing.
Yeah, they want to let Runner 90 sort of farm up once again. It worked for them in game 2. They were able to, control their pacing of the game and everything. And on the flip side here, you've got Tom Kench picked up potentially a support pickup here for Chicken the Wing to keep the Cephalios as safe as possible. It's not really a takeaway here. I'm curious to see why all the priority on it, unless this is just Tygoon taking it for themselves on the top lane, where it has been heavily nerfed.
Yeah, it's always an option here. I would anticipate, though, if Tygoon is going to move up to the top lane, that he is going to play something that can go toe-to-toe with Venom on the other side. See the Volibear pick up Gank at a can. He's back after being on the bench for a game.
Ooh.
So far, this Team Ishtar composition, it's looking pretty solid.
It's going to be a little bit rough for Shyvana to keep pace and really make their presence known in a lot of ways because of Gank in a can. You just throw this Volibear wherever you want. You're able to get so much priority on lanes that way. And when you've got a Shyvana on the opposite side, you're basically allowed to gank for free. You're not too scared of those counter ganks. Granted, Runner 90 looked quite good on the Shyvana in game 2, and now going to be trying to find a repeat performance.
Yeah, it was a solid game, right? There was nothing overly remarkable about it. I wasn't too big of a fan of his build that time around. Felt like he could have done much more to kind of hard carry the game, but you know what? It was still an effective pick. Can't really hate on it too much. Vex, Zillion, gone. MG Element does not want to deal with those two, as Druben has been giving him the business a little bit in the mid lane. On the other side, it is an Akali, and you have to ban out Assassins against King Annihilator.
Yeah, and I think that especially considering what King Annihilator has done to Team Ishtar thus far this series, it's been death by a million cuts, it feels like. I mean, the Aurelia last game, probably the worst performance we've seen. Even in game 1, they were able to find some pretty opportune kills on the LeBlanc, so curious to see what MG Element are going to draft. It's going to be blind pick top lane, or is it really blind pick? It's technically like picking into 2 possible flex picks with the Camille, but Venom finally able to get their hands on the Camille here, and we'll see what they're able to do. And we know Tygoon's going to be going for the carry versus carry matchup.
Metal Man, go boom. Mordekaiser has been selected. This does mean that Tom Kench will almost assuredly slot to the support role. Does mean that counter pick will be available for King Annihilator, and that is a scary thought. I'm interested to see what is going to come out of the mid lane here. It looks like Veigar will be locked in. So Druben is going to be on the scaling Veigar and will hopefully have more than 80 stacks.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see this Veigar have the level of power that we've seen out of other such Vegars in the league, like Please Don't Run It. I mean, from WCU Rams, yes, they didn't have the greatest season as a team overall, but he was mentioning that Vagar is something that they're very confident in. We've seen other Vagars do quite well, even out of blue, but King Annihilator just going to match that scaling, and oh boy, the Victor comes out. Not really a King Annihilator special, but definitely a champion that has a lot of agency.
Strong pick. This is another 4-threat composition, depending on how Runner 90 wants to build the champion. Victor into Vagar, you'd be surprised. Victor, more often than not, is able to get the better of this champion in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see what the next steps are for Team Ishtar in terms of their execution. I want to see them come out with a very proactive game. They need to be looking for plays and not reacting to MG Element, because it feels like, especially in the latter half of last game as well as the latter half of game 2, they sort of lost their footing in terms of their shot calling.
Right, and you know, what you've drawn up for them is pretty correct here. And it really has to be on Voperdo. I keep saying this over and over and over again, but it really bears repeating, because when you take a look at the laners for Team Ishtar, they're not overly strong on their own. Aphelios Tom Kinch can certainly get some kills if things break their way, but Mordekaiser isn't always going to be able to 1v1 Camille. Vagar is not going to be 1v1ing Victor in your typical matchups. So that means that Voperto, the gank in a can, has to actually gank. It's something that he hasn't done too much when he's been given Volibear.
And I think that Vaperto and Tygoon now sort of linking back up on this top side of the map, they've got a lot of potential to sort of run Venom and Runner 90 around a little bit, sort of give them a chase around, give them a little bit more trouble, a little bit more grief on that top side. And we haven't seen Venom go up against much opposition thus far. It's been Malphite, Ornn, and now going up against a Mordekaiser as the Camille, I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry as we expect.
In football practice, I used to play American football. I know you know what American football is, but because you're not an American, I have to say it that way. In practice, as an offensive lineman, you go up against the dummies. It's called the sled, where the entire 5 of your offensive linemen runs at this big sled-looking thing with 5 dummies on it, with your coach standing on it, and you gotta push, and you gotta push, and you gotta push, right? It's to prepare you for your actual opponents. The thing about Venom is that he's had to go up against a turnstile, no offense to Chicken the Wing. He was a turnstile up in the top lane. Now, when faced with some resistance, let's see how they respond.
And especially since Venom has been sort of a hard carry the last couple of games, I'm not surprised that Tygoon's sort of calling their own number and saying, you know what, I'll go up topside. I'm going to try and right the ship. I'm going to try and make sure that this doesn't get out of hand. And realistically, it's a ballsy call to do so. Bringing Frostbite back in, moving Chicken the Wing down to support once again, and just sort of trying to find some sort of solution to MG Element. It feels like they've been struggling with team comps and with players going in certain roles since that game 2. And even in game 1, we mentioned it was not just cut and dry victory one way or the other. It was a hard fought victory by Team Ishtar, and it feels as if maybe they're like, we're lucky to even be still in this series. We want to make sure that we're making a statement in this game 4 to bring it to game 5.
And they have made a statement through the first 3 games so far. Both of these teams evenly matched. Team Ishtar riding the wave of their hot streak, but they might be extinguished by the second best team in the league, MG Element. They're going to be squaring off shortly. We're in the spectator delay. Yanni and Adam will bring you all the action for the potential final game of this series in just a few moments. The backs are against the wall here for Team Ishtar. Down 2-1 in the series. And a couple of changes were made by Team Ishtar, as we touched upon just a little bit ago. Tygoon heading to the top lane. Frostbite is back in. And Chicken in the Wing moving to support. I'm sorry, Chicken the Wing, not in the wing.
Yeah, we might get some level 1 shenanigans. Oh my god.
I hope so. Come on.
No.
Do something. Here we go. It's a little bit different in the series. More than no. Come on!
Ah, you were so close to perfection, and you blew it.
Oh, I'm on tilt.
Yikes.
I didn't know that I could watch a game of League of Legends and be on tilt, but I did watch one of my favorite teams get 3-0'd some point this weekend.
Evil geniuses, baby.
Well, that's a spoiler.
What? Well, now because you said it as a spoiler. Because you.
No, don't you turn this around on me, buddy. You better slow your roll there, bucko.
Live evil.
Live evil, indeed. Well, see if people can live in this game. I'm sure there'll be a lot more living to be done than in the last one because the team compositions are no longer going at 100 miles an hour like we saw in the last game.
Yeah, and I think that, especially since Tygoon's on this top side, they're expected to sort of match this presence that Venom's been able to exert throughout the series. I mean, oh my goodness, already fighting on the bottom side of the map, though. Oh my goodness.
Back and forth they go. Headshot proc onto Frostbite, and really, it seems like it was an even trade on both sides.
Yeah, and I think that both of those health bars getting dipped down quite low ends up benefiting, I want to say, Frostbite a little bit more because they can regen up a little bit more with the, oh my goodness, the Scythe Pistol, but look at this fighting, just so scrappy in the early game.
Yeah, Tygoon and Venom certainly going at it. Tygoon doesn't afraid of anything in that top lane. We saw the earlier Chicken the Wing had to flash away to avoid the Nautilus hook as it could have spelled certain death.
I think it could have.
Tygoon, my brother, I don't think you want Venom to get hit by the claw.
Yeah, I don't think Tygoon wants to take this fight. Oh, no.
He's got no choice. He's dead. Ignite tick.
Oh!
No, he lives!
Oh, wait a sec!
He lives. Voperdo trying to dive and kill Venom, but Venom will survive in a bit of a misjudgment there, as Venom was unable to get the job done, and Tygoon lives to fight another day.
My goodness here. Somehow, some way, Tygoon does not go down.
He's a goon, bro.
He's the goon, the Tygoon on the top side. The fadeaway play from Venom, a little bit perplexing, and now forced to use that teleport as well. Tygoon actually has a summoner advantage here. No Ignite available for Venom for the next little while.
Let's go. Let's see if Tygoon can do anything with that up in the top side. Now, all of a sudden, Venom gets hit by one of those pulls. It might not be so bad. He also has a slight EXP lead. There was a level advantage, but is now gone. That's no surprise there. Camille just had the TP back and all was well.
Yeah, regardless, it's very, very interesting to see how the next phase is going to go. Oh, my.
No, it's going to lay the trap. No, the trap did not land. Voperto is here, so is Venom and Runner 90, and now we got a 2v2. Exhaust goes down onto Voperto, but a lack of summoners out of multiple members could spell trouble. Venom trying to run away is taking a little bit of HP. Tygoon, Voperto, they get the pull into Runner 90. They're going to turn on to Runner 90, but look at all the damage. Voperto gets the shield, but will fall. Runner 90 gets the heal, but Venom bails out. Runner 90 will fall. There's a kill for the top laner and a kill for the jungler, respectively, for Ishtar and MG Element.
Yeah, for MG Element, it's incredible to get a kill onto Runner 90, but Tygoon strikes.
Big hook. Oh, Frostbite having to flash away, but the root goes onto Chicken in the Wing. Why do I keep calling him Chicken in the Wing? It's Chicken the Wing.
Yeah, Chicken the Wing just already exerting their will on the bottom side of that match. And, I don't know. These...
you get the root here.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he's got no HP, and he's going for it. The headshot proc out of blue gets that kill. He's going to burn the heal, but he's going to die to the big bear anyway.
Extremely well played, and wow, it's just on the edge of our seats here. Just going 1-for-1 in every single roll, and My goodness, this is gonna deliver. This is about to deliver an incredible game for if this pacing keeps up, because it's just one for one, tit for tat, blow for blow. They keep going and going.
Yeah, and take a look who's got kills. The Volibear's got one, the Shyvana's got one, Mordekaiser, Caitlyn. These are champions that can certainly do some damage with that extra gold.
And the extra gold that Caitlyn's able to pick up can be pretty detrimental for this lane, but Aphelios is going to keep pace here. I like this coming through. Just picking up as much AD as possible, meaning they have more fighting capabilities as opposed to just farming capabilities. Noon Quiver, a lot of that bonus damage you get is just onto minions. It doesn't matter if you're hitting Frostbite in that case, whereas Frostbite makes sure every auto attack counts.
And that does mean that Caitlyn's going to be able to shove in the lane a little bit more and make life hard on Frostbite. Aphelios is a champion that you can expose when you get to slow push a Waven.
And, I mean, Dragon's getting picked up incredibly early here for the side of the Shyvana, at least for MG Element. This is a good sign as well. You want to get that scaling going for this Shyvana because she does, as we mentioned in Game 2, scales incredibly well off of those Dragons, getting 5 armor, 5 MR. It's really nice. It's super good.
Yeah, that's going to be a big help in these fights where every little bit counts. You know, some people will overlook the little bit of armor and MR that you get from anything, whether it be Mountain Drake, not Soul, whether it be a Shyvana buff, but they really do make a difference.
And I think that, especially since they go for this Iceborne Gauntlet into Demonic Embrace build where you're effectively still doing tons of damage.
Oh,
You're still doing tons of damage with your Flame Breath, but also extremely tanky. This build that's popped up just enables so much power out of Shyvana if she's given enough space. And I mean, we've seen Malice pick it up in Champions Queue and Academy, all of that stuff. Oh my, Venom's in trouble though.
Venom taking a whole lot of damage. I wonder if Tygoon's going to try to pull him into the death realm. He does. Is this going to be... Oh, what a dodge there by Venom. He's got the magic damage shield. Tygoon taking away. And Venom, with lay mechanical outplay, wins the fight.
And Vaperto peels off a little bit too early. I think he could have potentially had the killer blow one there, but maybe was it just a little bit too scared of Runner 90. Oh no, the Dragon.
See you later. I was going to say alligator, but that's a bear. Runner 90 is going to take the Gromp. He's going to take his life. He's going to take the blue buff.
Yeah, on the bot side, too. More action. Out of blue picks up the kill into Chicken the Wing. And this is going all right for MG Element now all of a sudden. After some blow for blow in the early game, now it's starting to kilter in favor of the team on match point.
Oh, who got that one? It looks like it is going to be Runner 90 who got it. But he's not going to have an easy time fighting off Tygoon. See, Venom is trying to make their way there. He's just trying to pick up... trying to pick up the honey fruit, staying alive, but will fall. Big shutdown going over to the Goon.
Yeah, and I think that Tygoon picking up that shutdown is really nice because it equalizes out this lane once again. It gives them that slight advantage, but still Tygoon has an uphill battle here. It's going to be a tough lane against Venom. We've seen what they've been able to do thus far, and if the poison seeps in a little bit too deep into the Tygoon, it doesn't matter if they're made of iron or steel or whatever the hell they're made of. They're going to be feeling the burn.
Listen, they might not have anything that burns away their HP. No Leandries here, but you know what burns away HP? True damage.
Oh, yeah, they just eat it. It's like that guy in the Guinness Book of World Records, the guy who like eats airplanes or something.
What?
He just eats like metal. Dude's name is Monsieur Mange Tout, which in French is just eats everything. And
Listen,
dude like
some
ate an
people
airplane.
pretend that airplanes are shooting stars, and some people pretend that they are food.
Yeah, just sometimes you just want to eat an airplane, you know?
I don't think I've ever wanted
I
to
don't
eat an
think I've
airplane.
ever
Adam, I am quite a large man.
Yes.
I have never in my life once wanted to eat an airplane. I've eaten a lot of things. I've eaten a magic card before, multiple in fact. And I've never wanted to eat an airplane.
Neither have I, but you know, some people do. And we won't judge them on their preferences or their...
I am going to judge them. I'm sorry.
You know what? That one deserves a little bit of judgmental pimento there.
Listen, as long as you're doing it safely, I guess it doesn't matter, you know? Like, I'm not gonna hate, you know, but I am gonna judge. There are two different things.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Tygoon might be hating something very soon, as it looks like Venom is in prime position to make a play. Here comes the trade, pulling him into the Death Realm, but that means that Voperto can't come in. And now Venom going to use that ultimate and is going to be very surprised when he sees a bear nearby. That turret has been dismantled. Voperto will walk out with the kill.
Yeah, walks out tall and strong there. Gank in a can, strikes again, you throw the can, and the bear comes out apparently. Fortunately for Venom, they're getting a lot more attention than they're used to, and despite having a CS lead still, Tygoon and Vampirator are making them think a lot more about their actions, and this is going to be the tank Mordekaiser coming through for Tygoon, so going to try and stay as beefy as possible and still provide a lot of damage. Curious to see how Venom wants to react. Already building towards that Divine Sunderer. They're going to hopefully be doing some big damage on those Qs later on into this game.
Speaking of the top side of the map, one thing to note, Rift Herald was secured by runner 90, and they're hovering around the dragon area to try to make a play. It looks like King Annihilator wants to take it back, though. I don't know if it'll be necessarily troublesome, because it looks like everybody on Ishtar's on a reset anyway.
Ishtar just finding the reset. Another free dragon going over to the side of MG Element. This is bad. You don't want to be giving Shyvana's free dragons. They've effectively just given her a free cloth armor and a free half null magic mantle by
two mountain drakes essentially you've given her.
Yeah, you've given her 2 mountain drakes plus a mountain drake.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes,
I would more so meant she got 2 mountain drakes for the price of 1, but that's fair. Whoa, aggressive play out of Operto. King Annihilator in a whole lot of trouble and will be primordial bursted back to the base.
Drew been able to find the damage, but oh my goodness, what's happening on this bottom side of the map?
Turret platings, my friend. Turret platings are happening. Frostbite and Chicken the Wing trying to push them off of the turret. And we're going to be able to for the moment. There's 1 plate left standing, or 2 plates left standing, a plate and a half, I should say. And that will survive as the bottom lane will back out and get their gold. Spend their items.
Maybe able to collect a little bit of moolah for themselves, and now just looking to see what the next phase of this game plan is for MG Element, because, you know, we've seen them sort of come out of the gate strong here, now sort of pulling back a little bit, giving way just a little bit more. It's not a lot, but giving a little bit more leeway to Team Ishtar, giving them time to scale up. And of note, Aphelios is not going to be any slouch in the later stages of the game. They haven't found a kill onto Frostbite yet. Ideally, they're not dashing into 4 members with that Gale Force, but, you know, it still gives them that safety if they so desire, or the execution potential if they so desire as well.
Yeah, there's still so much to be done this game because take a look at the gold leads. They're so tight. And once again, King Annihilator has just been dethroned. So 0-1-0, and yes, is not his typical type of champion, but I expect somebody of his caliber to be able to play something like that. You see here, ace in the hole, it's going to land out of blue, out of HP, and the Devour, the big shield, they're going to root down late game carry. He's going to try to Gale Force, but runner 90 looking to run him down. He's going to go for the burnout. He's going to turn to Dragon form, and he's going to Dragon's Breath and get a kill onto Frostbite. Top side, Vampirator bearing down onto Venom. Venom, hook shots, not quite, my friend. Pulled into the Death Realm, has the shielding. Once he comes out, Vampirato's got to get on him quick, and he does. Ultimate used, Hextech Ultimatum. The tower's been turned off. He's going back in. Venom, what are you doing?
What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? The turret got turned off, and it looked like Vampirator was going to go further than they were, but they were still in the Hextech Ultimatum. They couldn't quite get out, but then Venom went back in, and it's a disaster.
Venom.
Oh my goodness, Venom. It's been a long day.
It's been a long, I mean, you know, I've had a long day too. It's not a long day of casting, but, you know, I did work 10 hours today, so. So it's been quite a long one. And this series has been quite a long one, and it has been delivering at the highest levels right now. And, you know, we did mention the junglers this game are really going to be the ones to watch, and they have performed quite well for themselves thus far.
And it's incredible to see the level of play that these teams are still able to put out. Sometimes in these longer series, you know, best of fives, you get tired. but it's still just extremely high levels of gameplay. And maybe I'm just saying that because I'm actually I'm just spent in a lot of ways, but at the same time, these teams are still delivering some really high quality League of Legends. And Tygoon on this top side with Viperto, we talked about this combo that we saw throughout the regular season as being one of the strong suits for Team Ishtar every time they were on the Rift. And it's delivering, out of blue, sort of coming out of their skin and saying, you know what, we're going to start to take over this bot lane as well. Despite the kill advantage being in favor of Team Ishtar, MG Element still have that gold lead, and a lot of that's just through plate. Viperto, gotta respect the dragon.
Did not respect the dragon. Exhaust goes down. Drubin is trying to make a play here. Could potentially put down a cage. The flame blast from that dragon. That dragon's breath. Gonna slow things down a little bit. God dang, man.
Oh,
Hook lands onto Chicken the Wing. Might not be over yet. Shield goes down. Here comes the ultimate. Gonna knock up Frostbite. Turning their targets onto Chicken the Wing has been rooted. Ace in the hole. Gets the kill. Venom with a turret dive in the bot lane. 2 for out of blue. And just like that, MG Element turn it on.
And they didn't even need the dragon's breath there. No paralysis chance, but at the end, it's just the chance of death. Ruben, oh my goodness.
Dragon's Breath HMO 2, right?
TM47.
Is it actually TM47?
No.
Oh, okay. Isn't it like...
Dragon Breath is not a TM.
TM27. Yes, it is.
Dragon Breath hasn't been a TM for a while, at the very least. Oh, whoa, oh.
Oh,
okay.
Viperto tried to go over the wall and take that, but it's going to go to Runner 90.
Yeah, and Runner 90 able to secure these once again. It's Soul Point, and a Hextech Soul at that, so an interesting new Soul available on the Rift. MG Element, they're getting their win conditions in line. They're up just out of nowhere. 4,000 gold.
TM24.
In Gen 1?
Generation 2.
In Gen 2. Oh, my goodness.
Yep. Generation 2 is TM24. Maybe as well be TM Runner 90 at this point, though. They have wreaked havoc. They've only have 3 kills. They don't have any assists, but they have prevented Team Ishtar from doing much of anything.
Yeah, and I think that this game will continue to progress in favor of MG Element unless Team Ishtar are able to put up a legitimate defense. And I think that is a major part of that. They need to defend their own honor in a lot of ways with this, because they've gotten this far. They ran the gauntlet. You don't want to just go out once you face one of these top teams. This is a team that Team Ishtar, they've expected to be able to beat. They've beat teams arguably better than MG Element this season, and it's shocking to see this performance come through. And it's almost as if all of these games, MG Element have had the tools to win. It's just whether they're able to deliver on it, and Venom gonna be able to escape from this.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not like this result could be entirely unexpected, right? In the end, Team Ishtar, while they're hot and they have taken games off top teams, are a gauntlet team, and this MG Element is seen to be the second best team in the league. It's not overly surprising to see this potentially happen, although, they've shown a lot of fight in this entire series, and they've continued to do so, although they are down about 2,500, give or take a couple hundred golds. It's not over for them yet. They have a decent amount of scaling on their side. The only problem is, so does MG Element.
Yeah, and MG Element with the scaling are incredibly scary. Trubin might be facing the...
Look at the sidestep. King Annihilator will barely survive. And now he's got to try to flash away, trying to dance, but he's in the death realm and he will die. Tygoon will fall as well. 3 for 2 overall, because in the mid lane, Out of Blue had been taken down.
Oh my goodness, this action just doesn't stop, and the gold is still in this holding pattern, just sort of circling around, holding steady at 3,000 in favor of MG Element. Oh no, Chicken the Wing, no!
Yeah, he's going to get the root, but there's just not enough damage right now. He is going to flash away, make sure that he is A-okay, does not want to give over any more gold.
No, Jerry!
No, Jerry!
That's probably one of my favorite clips just ever now.
Same. That was a fun clip.
Jerry. There's no Jerrys in this game. There is a Venom who has this, against all odds in a lot of ways, really started to exert even more pressure on this top side of the map, though, because, Divine Sunderer complete. They're building towards a Ravenous Hydra. They're going to have a lot of damage spec'd into as this game goes on. And after a little bit of a tough early game, a lot of attention was paid up towards that top side by Vaperto, and Tygoon didn't make it easy, but still the Camille coming through in spades, and this damage is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and you've seen glimpses of the Camille damage. We haven't seen really a whole engagement or anything, but you've seen a couple of times Camille just come in and deal 500 to 600 true damage in an auto attack or something like that. And it's coming. MG Element is just scaling up further and further, and all it takes is Camille getting on top of a squishy and doing that, and we'll solo win a fight.
And I think we've seen it a lot that Camille's are able to just weave in and out of these fights, and they're just someone you have to constantly be cognizant of as well. You need to be careful. And Drubin, holy moly!
See that damage on the squishy, baby? Put Drew in the bin.
That's the problem with throwing down the event horizon early, though. You can't throw that down early. You have to hold it as long as possible, and just walked out of the bush, didn't respect it, and yeah.
King Annihilator and Tygoon here in the bot lane. Runner 90 in the area as well. He's going to pull King Annihilator into the Death Realm, gets a big shield, but King Annihilator trying to cut it out. That stun was massive, and he manages to win the 1v1 in the Death Realm.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, and it's starting to fall apart for Team Ishtar. I think they're trying to force a little bit too hard. We saw on the top side there, Drubin walking up for no reason, and then Tygoon taking down King Annihilator into the Death Realm. King Annihilator's itemized pretty well to fight up against this Mordekaiser here. You see the Leandries, the Sork shoes, and now Runner 90. Oh!
Runner 90 going back in. It's stolen! Volibear is going to claim this one, and now it's a 2v1 in the pit. Here comes Venom from the side, trying to go into Drubin, but he has to wait. 1-for-1 in the pit. Bottom lane, King Annihilator, Frostbite in the area. Gale forcing forward, finds a shutdown.
Oh, good pickup there. It's 2-for-1, but the fight's not over.
Here we go. Venom trying to get closer. But it looks like Chick in the Wing is going to carry everybody away. He's going to get knocked up. The Vagar cage is down. Venom has taken some damage. Frostbite's got his red gun, so he's going to heal up a lot. Venom gets picked next. And now they're looking toward Out of Blue. Out of Blue has to try to run, but as you know, Caitlyn does not have a whole lot of mobility. Turning around into the minions. It's a very scary prospect. They're going to land the hook onto Tygoon. They're going to play the trap as well. Tygoon getting low. They're pushing forward. He nets into the cage and falls. Late game carries. Life is claimed as well. And Team Ishtar, when you think they're out of it, they pull you right back in.
My goodness, this game refuses to quit. And Team Ishtar, they're able to find 5 kills in a row there. They're able to prevent the soul on a great steal from Vaperto, and honestly, they're back on their horse. They're getting back into this game. The band's getting back together. This is bound to be an exciting one. The Baron's getting started, and Vagar does these so quickly because of the lower cooldown on Dark Matter. They just take this so quick.
I don't think Runner 90 is going to get there in time to steal it. It's going to have to be a King Annihilator attempt here. And no, it is taken. More objective bounties being claimed, and now they're going to fall off. And it's a 700 gold game once again, Adam, nearing the 24-minute mark.
My goodness, this is... I'm not going to use the B word yet. I'm not going to use it. I refuse to use it quite yet.
Why?
Because it's you can't just throw it out for every single game. The series has been
We didn't throw it out for every single game. Game 1 and Game 2, they were very good games, but nothing that we would call certified BTL banger. We told everybody that it doesn't need to be a certified BTL banger to be a big game, but this one so far is starting to get close.
It's getting close.
Back and forth.
And I don't want to cast a curse. That's why I'm refusing to use the word.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because as we, full disclosure, Yanni and I were doing VOD review yesterday, and there was just 2 blatant caster curses that I threw out when I was doing play-by-play, and we're just like, it's got to just be like, we can't recognize what's going on in the game, right? Like, we're just stupid, right? And I guess I'm just stupid sometimes, and it happens. So
hey, listen, it happened to me earlier too. It happened to me in this series.
Yeah, so realistically, we just need to, if we don't say it, we can't be wrong about it.
Yo, honestly true. That's no way to live, though.
No, that's no way to live.
You know why?
This is a fucking this is about to be a banger. Yeah.
Whoa! Excuse you.
Sorry,
I
I
did
slipped.
that.
Oops.
No, because listen. The greatest thing about the worst thing in life is being wrong. The best thing in life is being right.
Yes, and being right is worth so much more.
Oh yes, my friend, you are correct. 25 minutes into the game, the gold lead about 1,200. Doesn't really matter. That said, Team Ishtar, they haven't done anything with this Baron yet, and it's gonna expire soon.
It's expiring soon. They haven't really been able to get anything more than just the value from the Baron itself. You know, they were able to pick up another couple of... They were able to pick up that Baron, and that's basically it. They didn't get any kills off the back end. They haven't been able to push forward advantages. Realistically, it was more of a preventative measure than a proactive measure, and I think that it's not a bad thing to have a preventative Baron come through. It's just you need to do something else to keep pushing forward your advantages. You can only prevent for so long before you have to actually do something.
Well, the scaling is really what they're doing here. Take a look at Drubin starting to get into that area of the very scary Vagar. 270 stacks on the young man. Just, you know, that's a hefty amount of ability power, my friend. That's almost 300 ability power.
Yeah, and if my voice wasn't so shot, I'd tell you that if the tables were turned, I would show no mercy either. Like, Drubin's just been firing it off. So much damage in these fights, and as you mentioned, yeah, 272 stacks at 718 AP. They've sort of gotten their two key items. They've gotten the Everfrost. They've gotten this Rabadon's Death Cap as well. They will do a hefty chunk to anyone in their path.
Now all of a sudden, Ishtar controls the river and looking to secure this Drake in the top lane. Tygoon and Venom going at it mano-a-mano in the Death Realm, but you can see that Venom is doing so much. Manages to dodge out that mace slamming down, and Tygoon's got nowhere to go. Vaperdo is low. Runner 90 looking to find a way in, gets in there and does not secure the dragon again.
My goodness!
Teleport coming in from Venom. Off to the side, there's a kill. Frostbite's got nowhere to go, and man, they wipe Ishtar off the map. Clean ace.
It's an ace, but Baron's not up for another 2 minutes. It's a little bit of a desync. They don't get the dragon. They aren't able to secure the soul, but they should be able to get at least an inhibitor, if not two. That top lane wave, it was an interesting angle for Venom to teleport into. I don't think it was 100% necessary, but you've got to try and secure as much as you can. Do they potentially push for the end here? I don't think death timers are going to be long enough for that.
Well, Tygoon's going to be up along with Chicken the Wing, and that could be enough to stall them out. They will opt to take the safe strategy, and they will get the heck out of dodge. They're going to take a bottom inner turret as well, give a lot of gold over to the members of the team, about 250 each. And just like that, we thought MG Element had the game in their hands. Ishtar brought it back, and MG Element just breaks it wide open again.
It's every single time we think that Team Ishtar are going to bring it back, very much akin to last game. MG Element hold their resolve, they hold the line, and they continue to push their own agendas forward. They constantly are looking to play their own game, and once again, Team Ishtar are falling into the trap. They're falling into MG Element's game plan, and I'm perplexed in how it's happened, you know, effectively 4 games in a row where Team Ishtar just sort of lose their identity.
Yeah, and sometimes when the lights get brightest, the players may shrink a little bit here. Venom pulled into the Death Realm, and when he gets out, he will see 5 angry members of Team Ishtar all around him. And, wow, no way. All right, Gale Force forward. Here comes the ultimate. Moonlight Vigil lands. No way, dude.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt. That sums up Team Ishtar in this series. So close, yet not enough.
It's so close. And I mean, especially if you get the shutdown on Venom, that's your side lanes are opened up. You've got so much more agency in these fights, but now you still got to deal with these supers in the mid lane. The Baron's just going to be taken for free by MG Element, and it just seems like a slow burn despite all of the excitement that built up over time. It ends up it might just end in a slow burn with this Baron being taken down. Will Team Ishtar just roll over and die, though? We'll find out.
30 minutes left, 30 minutes into this game, I should say, and MG Element is ready to end it. Tygoon gets picked. It is a 5v4 and Baron for MG Element.
And it's going to continue to be these waves pushed in. It's going to be at least 2 inhibitors now taking down. That mid lane inhibitor respawning in like 3 minutes, but does the game even last that long for Ishtar to extend it out? We will find out. Oh my goodness.
Oh, King Annihilator goes gold, and he could be in a lot of trouble. Will die to the Dark Matter. The dive out of Runner 90, right on top of Frostbite, who gets eaten. Vaperdo and Venom onto the side, but Venom gets the best of them. Right now, pushing forward, late game carry, flash hook lands, and they will finish the game here. Tygoon up in 5 seconds, but it does not matter. Congratulations, MG Element. They're going to the finals.
They're going to the finals in a very interesting series. Honestly, that series realistically could have been 3-0 MG Element if not for a miraculous save at the base for the side of Team Ishtar to steal game 1 in a lot of ways. But overall, well played from MG Element, and they're going to finals. They're going to book their ticket there, where they are facing, Yanni, remind me?
Team DPS, baby.
1 versus 2 at the end of the season. No better
no
ways to
surprise there.
Everyone beats everyone, but at the end of the day, seed 1 versus seed 2 in the finals.
Well, listen, and that's exactly how you draw it up, right? It's that you expect the best teams to get to the top. Got to give a lot of credit to Team Ishtar. This was 4 very close games, but unfortunately, there were just a little bit too many holes in their game plan for them to be successful. And on the other side, MG Element, they have a lot of cleaning up to do themselves. They're going to need to hit the VOD reviews hard because Team DPS will punish all of the mistakes.
TPS is, this incredibly clean team, super skilled in their roles. They dropped. They had a little bit of a rough end to the season there, but at the same time, TPS are still your number 1 team. They're still looking extremely poised to take it to MG Element. And I think MG Element, they have a little bit of a revenge story for themselves as well. They want to come back into it and really show what they're made of. Ito, next week is going to be just a banger as well.
Yeah, I think the series today definitely shows that. I think we'll be seeing DPS and MG Elements, the top 2 seeds, end up making it to the finals. But it was a fantastic effort there by Team Ishtar, really pushing them. So never know what we're going to see. I think we're definitely going to be very exciting. We'll find out when exactly that's going to be. The 2 teams do get to decide, agree, if they want to play Saturday or Sunday, since we only have to play either Saturday or Sunday. I'll let them choose. And I'll announce whenever we know more about that.
Hopefully that will be quite soon. Mark your calendars. Well, at least give yourself some open availability once you find out which day they are playing. Team DPS versus MG Element for the Black Twitch League Season 12 Championship. Adam, I can't think of a better way to cap off the season.
No other way could have ended this season after what has been chaotic, tumultuous, a lot of crazy games coming through, a lot of BTL certified bangers, gotta say, and honestly, a super wide array of casters and talent as well. We've been able to bring a bunch of different voices here and bring a bunch of amazing players as well. It's been a incredible season, and I think that this final best of 5 will be a cherry on the top. It's bound to be. I just hope it's not a 3-0. I'm praying it's not a 3-0, but even still, it would be such a poetic ending to the season.
MG Element's going to need to work hard to make sure that they are in tip-top shape to face Team DPS. Everybody, thank you for joining us here tonight. From myself, Adam, Ito, and the rest of the Black Twitch League family, thank you for spending your night here with us. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week for the fun.
Oh, wait, they want an interview.
They want an
Oh,
interview.
we want an interview? Oh, we want an interview? Okay, bring them in. Pause.
Yeah, if you want to grab Guipo, it looks like they want an interview from Guipo. I have to go. I'm in the middle of a
Guipo didn't even play, though. Is he coach?
Guipo's the coach.
Oh,
Guipo's
yeah. Coach Guipo is the name, yeah.
Get him in.
All right.
So, you guys, I will be back. Yeah.
Yep, I'm dragging him in.
That's
And
it. All from me.
Hello.
here's Guipo.
Hello, Guipo. Congratulations. Your team fought very hard and earned a victory today. It was a tough series.
Yeah.
How did you prepare for Team Ishtar?
Honestly, we really didn't that much. We have a lot of schedule conflicts. We couldn't really prep that many games, but
Till
we pulled through with it. We pulled through. Our team was kind of throwing the first game, second game, third game, and fourth game a little bit, but we pulled through. We pulled through.
No, and really being able to play around your strong points in Venom in that top lane. But game one, gotta talk about that sort of almost base race backdoor sort of deal. How did you feel after game one, and how did you sort of get yourselves back into the right headspace coming into the rest of the series?
Honestly, it was stressful. It like they were playing with their monitors off or something. It was a rough game for them. After that, we just kind of pulled them into the voice chat. We're like, guys, you're not playing human. You know, it was kind of like the 100 Thieves comeback 3-0. But they just weren't playing human at that point. We talked it through it, slowed it down. We played it calm, got our drafts right, and it was easy sailing from there.
what do you think went wrong in game 3 with the massive 4-threat composition? It was a game that you all won in the end, but in the early going, things were not that great outside of your Jinx.
Yeah, no, it was. We got those early 6 kills on the Jinx. It looked like that was just gonna be, that was the game. It looked like that was just gonna be it. But they just took a bunch of fights that they really shouldn't have. I think we got way over cocky, and it took a lot to kind of scrape back into that. I think we had a 6K gold lead that we really lost, and just we had to claw our way back. It shouldn't have been that close, but luckily they were able to pull through and win the next game.
Are you going to yell at Runner 90 for their Diana build?
Absolutely, that Sunfire was unacceptable. Also, King Elair 26 really didn't step it up today. I'm gonna have to give him
Agreed.
some talking to.
Ooh, the
Agreed.
belt's coming out here from
Yes.
Whippo, but
We expect more out of King Annihilator.
We do. We always do, but he didn't perform today. Luckily, Venom and Out of Blue steps it up.
Yes, sir.
But gotta talk to Runner 90 about those smites. He was kind of acting like Santorin today, but
oh,
we'll get it done. We'll get it done. We'll
I
get it
said
done.
it earlier. I said it earlier,
Yeah.
my friend. He was looking mighty sus on the smites.
It was.
So-
It was.
Your next opponents, Team DPS, the top team in the league.
Yeah,
What
they kind
is
of
the
clapped us
plan?
earlier.
What is the plan to prepare for them? I know you said you got schedule conflicts, but well, what are you thinking? Your first impression of that's your opponent in the finals.
They're a really good opponent. It's definitely going to be a tough match. We're really going to have to prepare hard for them. But I think anything is possible. We could really go for the upset there. As long as we can take a few games off. We play correctly. We play with our monitors on. I think we got a chance.
for sure. Once again, congratulations on the victory. Final question here, I guess, for you. Anything you want to say to DPS? Just give your fighting words. Get your trash talk in here.
I'm not one for trash talk, but just be ready. Just be ready. We're not going down without a fight. We're definitely going to try our best.
All right. Well, if you're not one for trash talk, then I got one more question. Describe your team in 3 words.
King Annihilator 26 carries us.
There you have it, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Annihilator 26 carries them. Certainly didn't show it today, but is going to need to be on form for the
Not.
finals against Team DPS next weekend.
Thank you very much. It was fun doing the interview. Thank you guys.
Thank you for your time, Whippo, not Whippo.
Regardless, I'm excited to see what next week has in store. We'll see how the scheduling conflicts work out for us as well. But yeah, Yanni, super fun series. Super fun series.
Dude, it was a great time, and it's always a great time when you get an opportunity to cast with you, my friend. I'm sorry that you went through hell and back today.
Hey, it's all
with
part
your
of the job.
voice. Go get a nice rest for yourself, and everybody else go get a nice rest. It's 11:04 at night on the East Coast. You should go get some sleep, get your full 8 hours. And Yanni and RareAdam, we'll hopefully see you next week.